Well, Jean-Georges has entrusted me with the cooking of 2 of his steaks.
Yeah, might have a little more meat here.
Oh, wow, look at this.
So here we have a ribeye for 2 on the bone.
That's your favorite?
That's my favorite. I like it. And this is a porterhouse steak. Here we have a filet, about 14 ounces, on New York strip loin.
Well, I don't know which to choose. I like porterhouse.
Porterhouse are nice, because you have the sirloin on the filet.
Well, the secret with this meat is not only the meat, but the way it's cooked here at Prime. And here we have 2 gorgeous steaks.
Okay, what we do is we just season them with a little salt and pepper there. And a little bit of olive oil on top.
Okay, so it's simple.
But, yeah,
and what kind of olive oil do you like to use?
We use like extra virgin. Olive oil on top.
Easy in a squeeze bottle like this, too.
I like the steak to be really, leave the natural flavor of the steak. And then, you know, we complement it with a sauce and a garnish.
So freshly cracked black pepper?
That's right. More salt.
So many people tell you don't put salt on it, don't put pepper on it before you cook it, and this is so nice.
I think it gives a nice crust, you know, it brings the blood out a little bit and it gives a nice crust.
So this one will just start to cook. That cooks quite quickly?
Yeah, this takes about 18 minutes, filet about 15.
15 minutes, 18 minutes, what a nice way to cook. Now while they finish, Jean-Georges is going to show us how he deep fries the chickpea
So just put them in the basket like this.
Oh yes, so easy.
Deep fry them.
And the steaks are cooking away.
I think we can remove probably the ribeye.
Okay, the ribeye's done? Okay.
Done. We can put it on a plate.
Okay.
The filet is going to take a little longer.
A little bit, okay.
Yeah, thicker.
This is what happens when you come to a really fine restaurant kitchen. Get all kinds of good ideas. And these are so beautiful.
I'm going to put a little salt.
So those took just a couple minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. They're really crunchy on the outside. And we just dress them up on
Show us how you do it. So it is a 3-dimensional tic-tac-toe.
Serve with a steak.
Excellent. The steaks, filet must be done now?
The filet is ready now.
Filet is ready. The porterhouse is cooking. And how many mustards did you say we have here?
We have 7 kinds of mustard. All different flavors, different heat.
We're going to go to the table and try the best of Prime.
Great. It smells good, huh?
It does smell good. Oh, how beautiful. Where else could I get Jean-Georges himself to carve me a steak or 2 or 3?
Big time.
And here we have 3 steaks, 3 ways at Prime in Las Vegas. And now I'm just going to try all the sauces and...
We have the mustard here.
Oh, yes. Well, here's a green herb mustard, which looks very beautiful. So
grind them and we spice them different ways.
And I must have a little bit of this
the béarnaise is
lovely béarnaise.
Yeah, like a homemade ketchup for the fries.
Oh, okay. Some homemade ketchup. And how do you make that?
We mix with different tomato, onion, spices.
So pretty.
It's a wonderful flavor too.
And we have our wonderful gratin.
That's right.
And our fries and our potato cakes. Well, Jean-Georges, again, he's on his peripatetic way, and I guess I have to chase him back to New York. Maybe I'll see you at Jean-Georges
See you soon.
or Mercer or wherever you are. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm using my own chopped chocolate, and notice how I'm chopping it. This is a beautiful bar of Valrhona chocolate. It's semi-sweet, and I am cutting it with a serrated knife on a piece of parchment paper. This way, I'll be able to just pick up my chips and dump them into the batter, and I don't have a big mess all around me. In a medium bowl, sift 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt. Just sift these ingredients together and then just set the dry ingredients aside until you're ready to use them. And in this large bowl, we're going to cream until light and fluffy 8 tablespoons of room temperature butter. It has to be room temperature if you're going to beat it by hand. And save this little piece of paper because I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it. Don't throw the butter wrapper away. We're going to cream the butter with 1.5 cups of dark brown sugar that's very firmly packed. This is going to take about 2 minutes to cream the butter and the sugar together. And now we're going to add the eggs, 3 large eggs, one at a time. Don't try to use a wire whisk or an egg beater for this because it will not work, but a lot of elbow grease will work. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And now you can stir in your dry ingredients. So remember, don't overmix at this point. And now stir in your nuts. And we're using 1 cup of chopped pecans. You can also substitute almonds or peanuts or walnuts. And 12 whole ounces of chopped chocolate. Now, of course, you can use the chocolate chips that you buy in the store, but you will really love the quality and the taste of this Valrhona chocolate chopped by hand. And there's the mix. And I know you're all wondering, what am I going to do with that wrapper, the butter wrapper? Well, I'll show you now because this is a sticky dough and it's a heavy dough. And thanks to Julia Perez, mother of 12, just use this paper to push the dough into an even layer in the pan. What a good idea, Julia. And now put this in a 350 preheated oven and bake until a tester comes out clean. And that's going to take approximately 30 minutes. We have a batch just fresh out of the oven. They must stay in the dish cooling because you can't really cut them until they are cooled for 20 minutes. And we're going to cut this into 18 2¼ by 3-inch bars. And you can see how nice and moist the chocolate is. And these can stay in this covered tin up till 3 days. I don't know when I first discovered carrot cake, but I remember tasting Nayad Einzel's, a friend of mine in Westport, years and years ago, and I included her recipe in my entertaining book. Carrot cake can be moist and delicious, and it's often covered in a really rich cream cheese frosting. Carrot cake has been an American favorite since colonial times. In fact, it's rumored that George Washington ate carrot tea cake in 1783 at Manhattan's Fraunces Tavern, the former site of the U.S. Department of Foreign Affairs and the Treasury. And today we're creating a variation of this American classic by making cupcakes. Perfect, packed in a lunchbox or indulged in for dessert. And in fact, I think I might even just get off my diet for a little while and eat one of these delicious cupcakes. Carrot cake is really made from fresh carrot. And you have to grate the carrots quite finely if you want a nice texture. And I peel my carrots first, and I grate the carrots on the fine side of a box grater. Just watch what you're doing so that you don't grate your fingers at the same time. We need about 1 3/4 cups of grated carrot. And now, in a big bowl, we're going to make this all by hand. There's no reason, except for the frosting, to use an electric beater. Choose 2 large eggs, break them into a bowl. Mix these up with about 1/4 cup of buttermilk. I love buttermilk. It's wonderful in baking, and it's wonderful in pancakes and waffles. And I even like to just drink it. 1 teaspoon of very good vanilla extract. And 1 1/3 cups granulated sugar. This has already been measured. And we're going to mix this up with a wooden spoon. And to keep this extra moist and make it a true carrot cake, we're going to add 1 cup of plain vegetable oil. We're using just Wesson oil. And just mix this in slowly. And add your carrots. If you have all the ingredients in your home, it's really easy to make something that's very, very tasty for the family. 2 teaspoons of freshly grated ginger. And this is the fresh ginger root. And this has been grated on a very, very fine grater. Make sure you mix that in really well and don't leave lumps. And now we're going to sift our dry ingredients. And sifting without a sifter. We're going to whisk, because this whisk actually acts as an aerator and sifter when you whisk the dry ingredients around. We have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and we need to measure out 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Make sure it's fresh, the baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Add a half a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And now using a spoon or a rubber scraper, and I find that a rubber scraper works really well, fold in your dry ingredients into your carrot mixture. Just add a little bit at a time and cut and fold, cut and fold. What a beautiful color with those orange carrots. And now, as our last addition, 2/3 of a cup of the toasted pecans. The pecans have been toasted in the oven, as you saw, for, just a few minutes until you can smell them, but they don't burn. And let them cool and then chop them with a knife. And now we're going to put these into the cupcake liners. Now we're trying to equally distribute all the batter. This should fill these 12 cupcake liners up to the very tippy top. And now these are going to be baked in a preheated 350-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes, rotating the pan halfway through.